Hi guys, welcome to another episode of my YouTube video channel. Today's YouTube video is all about anger and our relationships. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what anger is, how to understand it differently, what are some tools you can use when anger presents itself either within yourself or your relationships, and kind of just go from there. So first of all, I want to say anger is a very valid emotion. A lot of times when I get couples or individuals in the office with, with them telling me, hey, we've got an issue of anger, what I want to say to them is, one, anger is valid. Like, don't be afraid of your anger, but understand it. And two, there's usually things that are happening that are our thoughts or feelings that are fueling our anger. So anger is the presenting emotion, but really there's a lot of other things that are going on that are really fueling that. And if you think about it, it's a lot easier to say I'm angry and to act in an anger place than to say, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm embarrassed, I'm heartbroken, I'm humiliated. It's a lot easier just to be angry. And so, when anger presents itself, it's also okay to say, what else is going on? And to really kind of ask, like, how can I use anger to help me instead of have it hurt me or my relationships? There's a book called Anger, the Misunderstood Emotion by Carol Tavris. And there's a story in there about these people in a village that go to temple, and on their way to temple they're approached by a cobra, and the cobra is starting to bite people, and so people stop coming to temple, and the shaman comes out and says to the cobra, why can you please stop biting people, because they're too scared to come to temple. And the cobra agrees. And so as people start coming to temple, the cobra leaves them alone, but people get curious and they start playing with the cobra, and eventually the cobra gets hurt. The shaman knows none of this, and the shaman comes out because he wants to thank the cobra for not biting anybody. And when he comes out, he notices that the cobra is hurting. And so he says to, the cobra says to the shaman, you asked me not to bite anybody, so I didn't. I left them alone and they hurt me. And the shaman says, I told you not to bite. I didn't tell you not to hiss. And, I like that story because to me, the shaman is saying it's okay to be angry. It's okay to have boundaries. It's not okay to hurt people. And, I always thought that was a good story to think about. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to have boundaries, but it's not okay to hurt yourself or other people with your anger emotion. The other thing to keep in mind, as I said in my love and fear video, is that love and fear are our two big, most primary emotions. And usually what happens with anger, again, is we're really afraid. And so we become angry because, again, it's easier to say I'm angry than even to say I'm afraid. So, look at what's underneath my anger and what's fueling it. That's one way to help you process your anger emotion. Two, validating your anger. It's okay to be angry. It's not okay to pick up a coffee cup and throw it through the room because you're mad. It's okay to acknowledge your anger, take a break, take deep breaths to cool off, and to really acknowledge what else is going on. For example, if my son is getting angry because he has to do his homework, he could get really angry and rip up his homework and throw it, and then just be angry. If I tell him not to be angry, he's going to get more angry. But if I validate his emotions, like, hey, it's okay that you're angry, or this is really frustrating, especially for doing math, because I'm not great at math, so even I get frustrated. I'm frustrated, and I also feel kind of helpless because I don't know math very well. And so, as a parent, I have to model for him, well, really for both of them, how to process my emotions, and also kind of guide them, give them some tools. Now, in your relationship, if some things have happened and let's say you're in conflict or you're in a heated discussion and you could feel your anger arise. Remember what Dr. Gottman says about being flooded. When you start to feel flooded, it doesn't mean, either one, jump into fight or flight and completely shut down. Honor your emotions of being flooded. Tell your partner, I'm feeling flooded, I need a break. And then you have to go self-soothe. Once you're in fight or flight, guess what happens? You say things that are hurtful or harmful to the relationship or to your partner. So again, if you're in a conflict or heated discussion with your partner and you start to flood, take a break. Cool off and really think about what is it that I need to communicate to my partner, even if it's just your feelings. And remember too, you can validate and empathize with your partner. It doesn't mean that you agree with them, but it means you hear them. And usually if you feel heard and you feel connected, your anger softens. You don't stay in that angry place. If I don't feel heard, I want to fight more, right? So I'm fighting to be heard. And usually if I stay in that place, the fights can get more explosive. So as soon as you start to feel flooded, remember to cool off and cool down. Take a break and take your deep breaths, self-soothe. And then ask, what's really going on for me? What are some thoughts or feelings that are fueling this anger? And how can I help communicate that when I come back to the table with my partner? And if you're the partner who maybe is not getting as flooded, remember to validate and empathize, because what you're really doing is connecting with your partner instead of disconnecting and creating more of a fight. And then remember, whether you're in a relationship or not, how you take care of yourself also helps manage your emotions. And if I'm doing things that are good and healing and nurturing for me, doesn't mean I'm never going to get angry, because I do. It means that I've built up a system, or I have a toolbox for when I do get flooded with emotions. I'm already in a place where I know how to take care of myself. And so I don't, if I notice that I'm going quickly into fight or flight, I can take those deep breaths. So again, participating in self-care doesn't mean you're never going to get angry or you're never going to have a bad day. It means you're just setting up and laying down a good foundation for yourself and for your relationship. Okay, guys, so remember, anger is a very valid emotion. It's what we do with it that matters. If I throw a cup through a window, well, that's not going to help me. But if I validate my emotions, if I take some time to cool off and cool down and really honor what else is going on with me, or what are my thoughts and feelings that are really fueling my anger. So anger is valid. What do I want to do with it? What else is going on for me? What do I need to communicate differently to honor my other emotions or other thoughts and feelings, not just anger? In a relationship, when I start to feel flooded, I've got to take a break. And if I notice my partner is getting flooded, how can I remember to validate and empathize with my partner, to connect to them? And lastly, how do I take care of myself? So those are just some quick tips on what happens when anger presents itself and what you can do to help you process your emotion of anger and to understand it better. All right, guys, hope you have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for weekly updates all about relationships. Take care.